If you want a strong retirement, one of the most powerful things you can do is build a reliable income floor. And for most Americans, that comes down to Social Security. And yes, this system is in need of reform. And no, it's not perfect, but it is still, for most Americans, one of the most valuable, inflation-adjusted lifetime income streams you will ever receive. For the average retiree, Social Security pays a little over $2,100 a month. For higher income earners, that number can easily move closer to $4,000 or $5,000 a month. And if you're part of a dual income household, the outlook is even stronger. So no matter where you fall on the income spectrum, Social Security provides a meaningful income floor. Hey guys, what's up? I'm Erin, and welcome back to the channel. One of the best things you can do to increase your security in retirement is to increase that income floor. So today I want to talk specifically about how to increase your Social Security benefit. And that means we need to strategically address your income during your working years. More specifically, because Social Security is built on a progressive system, I want to ask a better question. Where should you focus your earning power if you actually want it to matter? Because most people believe if I make more, I'll get a larger Social Security benefit. And that's true, but it's not the full story, because the relationship between your income and your Social Security benefits isn't linear. It comes down to how Social Security is calculated, the benefit formula, and certain income increases move the needle a lot, and other income increases barely move it at all. Not all income is treated equally. In fact, your next $10,000 in income could be worth 3 to 6 times more than your last $50,000 when it comes to your retirement income. And today, I'm going to show you exactly why. Social Security calculates your benefit using your average of your top 35 years of earnings. Once they figure out your average earnings on an annual basis, they break it down to a monthly level, and then they plug it into the Social Security formula. As of 2026, here's what that bend point formula looks like. The first portion of your income gets a 90% conversion. Income between about $1,200 and $7,700 gets a 32% conversion. And if you have an income beyond $7,700 a month or so up to the cap, this gets a 15% conversion. And ultimately, the results from that formula give you your monthly benefit. And once you see how this translates to your actual retirement income, you kind of see that income lives in 3 different worlds. From a Social Security standpoint, the most powerful income you will ever earn is the income that falls below the first bend point in the Social Security formula. Now, in the real world, the typical single earner in the US tends to earn somewhere in the range of $30,000 to $60,000 a year or so. And this is important because a very meaningful portion of that income over time ends up flowing through the most powerful portion of the formula. Because income below that first bend point is replaced at 90%. And that means every extra dollar of income in that range is worth about 90 cents towards your benefit before averaging. This is where the system does the most work for you. This is where your benefit scales the fastest. And this is the part that really matters. It's only about the first $15,000 of annual income that actually falls into this 90% band as of 2026. That's it. So we're not saying that incomes all the way up to, say, $60,000 are treated the exact same way. But why does this range still matter? It's because Social Security is based on your highest 35 earning years. And when someone increases their income from, say, $50,000 to $60,000, they're not just adding higher income years. They're often replacing lower income years or replacing zero income years and increasing their average over time. And part of that improvement still flows through the 90% portion of the formula. Then we have the middle range. Maybe this is incomes from, say, $60,000 up to $95,000 a year. This is still meaningful, but the numbers are certainly different. Now you're solidly in the 32% bracket. every extra dollar you earn is now worth about 32 cents toward your benefit. For example, going from an income of $75,000 a year to $85,000 a year. That's helpful, but really when it comes to Social Security, those dollars are only about a third as powerful as the dollars in the earlier bracket. So in this range, we're still optimizing our benefit, but this is not to say that this range is completely transformational. Then we enter the high income range, and this would be incomes beyond $95,000 a year. This is where things slow down dramatically, and this is what's important to notice. This happens at an earlier point than most people imagine. It happens before $100,000 a year in annual income. At this point, once you get to $100,000 a year in income, you're already in the uppermost bracket. You're already only replacing your income at a rate of 15%. That means every extra dollar you earn is worth about 15 cents toward your future benefit. And once you hit the wage cap, any additional income you earn has zero impact on your Social Security benefit. On the one hand, on a personal level, this does mean you get to keep more of every single dollar you earn. But on the other hand, for the purposes of our conversation here, when your income goes beyond the wage cap, you are not increasing your future Social Security benefit. So again, for the purposes of this conversation, you're not moving the needle on your future income floor in retirement when it comes to Social Security. If your income goes from $140,000 a year to $170,000 a year, that's a $30,000 increase in earnings, but it results in very little increase in your Social Security benefit. For instance, a worker with a lifetime average earnings of about $140,000 a year might, at full retirement age, have a benefit of about $3,800, whereas a worker with a lifetime average earnings of about $170,000 a year might have a full retirement age benefit of $4,100 a month. So what does all of this mean? The system is designed so that lower income increases have a high impact, middle income increases have a moderate impact, and high income increases have a low impact, and eventually no impact. If you're trying to increase your Social Security benefit, if you're focused on maximizing your income floor in retirement, the most important dollars you earn are not your highest earning dollars. Rather, they are the dollars that move you through the first and second bend point of the Social Security benefit formula. And this is a really great conversation for the everyday worker who is trying to maximize their income today and also trying to maximize or increase their income floor from their future Social Security benefit so they can have a more secure retirement. Now, of course, I want you earning as much as you possibly can or however much you want to. There's no point where earning more doesn't pay off, at least financially speaking, because if you earn more, you can invest more, you can save more, you have more options in life, you have more freedom, you can build more wealth, you can create more financial security. But this conversation is specific. This is about how to maximize your earnings in the way that best translates to the most robust Social Security benefit. Let's take a worker earning $70,000 per year. Their estimated benefit at full retirement age, assuming this is their average lifetime earnings, would be about $2,600 a month. So maybe $31,000 or $32,000 a year. Now let's say that this same person deliberately pushes their income higher, whether that's through promotions, job changes, or new opportunities. And they get to the point where their average lifetime earnings is actually $95,000 a year. Now they're reaching the top of the 32% bracket. So their estimated benefit would be about $3,300 a month or just under $40,000 a year. This person didn't just increase their income during their working years. They increased their income floor in retirement by roughly $7,000 to $8,000 more per year for life. So this is the income range where it really matters. This is for the everyday worker. It matters as far as the perspective on your income during your working years, and it meaningfully translates to a higher Social Security benefit in retirement, so you have more security. To really make this stick, let's look at the same income increase, but at a higher level. Let's take someone who increased their lifetime average earnings from $100,000 to $125,000. At full retirement age, their benefit goes from about $3,300 a month, or about $40,000 a year, to about $3,600 a month, or about $43,000 or $44,000 a year. That's a $25,000 increase in annual income for only about $3,000 to $4,000 or more per year in Social Security benefits. Now compare that to the earlier situation. This is the same dollar amount in income increase we looked at before, going from $70,000 a year to $95,000 a year. But in that range, the increase in benefits was much larger. The dollars are the same, but the impact is completely different. Because at higher income levels, you're already in the 15% bracket when it comes to the Social Security formula, so the system is doing less work for you. Now, to be clear, this does not mean that earning more money is not valuable. Going from $100,000 in income to $125,000 in income is a great move. And of course, it's going to open up more options and give you more flexibility in life. But from a Social Security standpoint, those higher income dollars just don't move the needle in the same way. So if you're a middle range income earner, the most impactful thing you can do is try to increase your income at least up to that second bend point, because this is going to give you the most bang for your buck, so to speak. This is going to move the needle on your Social Security benefit the most. So here's what you can do to really impact your benefit. It's about how your earnings show up over time. Number one, focus on your top 35 years. Social Security only looks at your highest 35 years of earnings, and they don't get locked in, because if you earn more later on in your career, you can absolutely replace those zeros or low income years early on in your career. Even after you've started collecting benefits, those higher earnings can still trigger a recalculation and increase your monthly check. But keep in mind, if you claim before full retirement age, there are earnings limits and you would need to pay attention to those. But this does mean if you work your way into your highest income earning years, which tend to happen later in life, those earnings really do matter. Number two, avoiding 0 years. This is where things matter, because if Social Security is based on your highest 35 years of earnings, if you have zeros within this equation, meaning you don't have 35 years of earnings, those zeros will drag your average down. Let's walk through a simple example. 3 people, all hardworking, all consistent. One has average lifetime earnings of $50,000 a year. One has average lifetime earnings of $100,000 a year. And one has average lifetime earnings of $170,000 a year. Each of these workers has 30 years of earnings and 5 years of $0 in income. So what happens with the $50,000 earner? With 5 years of zeros, we see about a 14% drop in annual average income. And because a lot of their benefit is in the most impactful brackets, their benefit will drop by about 10%. Once we get to the $100,000 earner, we have the same 14% or so drop in average annual income. But since more of our income has started to nudge into higher brackets, the benefit drop here is only about 8%. So yes, the benefit drop is meaningful, but it's less severe. And once we work our way all the way up to the $170,000 earner, if they have 5 years of zeros, much of their benefit is already in the 15% bracket. So their benefit drop in this situation is only about 6%. So those same 5 0 years hurt the $50,000 earner the most. They hurt the $100,000 earner moderately, and they hurt the $170,000 earner the least. And if we frame it like this, the ones who are more likely to have zeros and more likely to be hurt by zeros are those with more modest income earnings. But those are also the same people who are more likely to be more reliant on Social Security because they likely have less in investments or savings and need Social Security more to cover the gap in retirement. And remember, this happens because of how the formula is built. Lower earners lose high value income, that 90% conversion. Higher earners lose lower value income, that 15% conversion. Zeros don't just just remove your income, they remove some of your most valuable income if you are a more modest earner. So here's what you can do, especially if you're a low or moderate income earner. Number one, avoid zeros if at all possible. Even capturing some part-time work is better than logging a zero in terms of what your benefit will be. Two, replace zeros strategically. If you get to the late stages of your career and say you're earning $60,000 or so, if you can take one of those $60,000 years and replace a 0 year from mid-career or early on in your career, that can matter. Three, this perspective really matters most for people who have perhaps long career breaks or stay-at-home parents or early retirees. Also, if you zoom out, this is what Social Security is really doing. If you have a $50,000 income, it's going to replace about 50% of your income in retirement. If you have a $150,000 income, it's going to be replacing about 30% of your income in retirement. It is designed to do heavier lifting at lower incomes and function more as a supporting role if you had a higher income. So if you're thinking about how to build a stronger retirement, focus on where your income sits inside the system, within those brackets defined by the Social Security benefit formula. Because there is something very powerful about understanding where those bend points are, especially if you're a median or an average income earner, because this gives you a target to aim for. So aim to move your income at least up to that second bend point, because this is really where you're getting the most bang for your buck, so to speak. And keep in mind that those bend points are indexed for inflation, so they will change over time. So what are your thoughts on Social Security and how it converts your income during your working years into a benefit for your retirement years, for an income floor? Leave them in a comment down below. I post new videos every single week. If you got anything at all out of this one, please give it a like. If you're new here, please consider subscribing, or if you know of someone who might get something out of this type of content, please consider sharing. I'll see you soon. Bye. There's like a strip of lights in the bottom corner that I always try to avoid having in there. I feel like I got makeup in my eye today, and that is not ideal. If you're a girl, you can relate. If you're a man, you probably can't. You might be able to, but the most powerful things you can do. There's just lots of pauses. I don't know. I'm certain you can hear that. Loudest truck on the planet, I swear. The sun is going behind the cloud, then coming out. It's the worst for lighting. It's the worst. And I'm sorry. But I don't control the weather, so I'm tripping over my words in every sense today. But we're just gonna accept what life is throwing at us and assume that it makes us stronger. Hardships make us stronger, and the sunlight is a hardship for me today.